Hello and welcome to The Thirsty Mage. I'm David Lloyd. In this episode I have the pleasure of getting to try out a new PC game coming to Steam Early Access on May 27th, and that's Rising Lords. So this is a title that mixes Civilization style city building and resource management with real-time strategy combat. It's tackling a whole myriad of genres all within a hand-painted medieval aesthetic. I'm still learning much of the nitty-gritty, but here I'm going to take you on a general playthrough and provide a general overview of what this game has to offer. So beginning the game, you have this Civilization style map where you have to basically move the peasants of the kingdom around and assign them some different actions and traits. And here I'm just building up an army because after a couple of playthroughs I've discovered that getting an early advantage on the opposing kingdoms is a big deal. So there's a few different units that are available right away. You've got your knights that have the sword and shields. I like the crossbowmen because they have a bit of armor to them and it's easy to fire from far. And in my first go, I didn't have much luck with the pikemen, so I'm just gonna not bother with them this time. Maybe I'll try them a little bit later on, but they didn't seem to have a great go last time, so I'm just gonna stick with the knights and the crossbowmen at this point. So, and as you'll see in the combat sequences, the way that it works is that you have the different units fighting one by one, so and just splitting it up into 4 different units here. So basically I've got all the different actions that I can take. So I've got a couple shepherds and I've got a blacksmith working on more. I've got him on the crossbow, so I can build up some more crossbows. And I also learned that the peasants get pretty unhappy with you pretty quickly, so maybe I'll just start a church in the meantime as well. So, yeah, just going on to the next turn here. So, moving the army, and in this particular game, there's 3 kingdoms all vying for domination, I guess you'd say, and then there's some unfortunate city-states in between the 3 kingdoms. So, in the bottom left-hand, you see the map there, so I'm in the blue. And you've got the 2 other kingdoms up on the left and up on the right. So I think I'm going to try to head off that purple kingdom at the pass, and I'll start heading over to the city that's next to me on the right there. But before I do, just gonna have them build some more, maybe some knights, get some swords so I can build some knights here. So. And not a whole lot to be done right now, so I'm just gonna move on to the next turn. I found that the loading seemed a little long. I'm hoping that that'll be something that the developer will be able to work on later on. So this developer is Argon Wood. They're a developer out in Cologne, Germany, and the core team is just a couple of brothers. So it's pretty neat. They've been working on games since 2013, but this is their first big title that they're working on now. So looking pretty good so far. After I've, like I said, played maybe an hour or so, but now I'm going to get into how the real-time strategy combat works. So this is a turn-based style. It's I don't know, I guess similar to like a Fire Emblem sort of. So the match starts off with you place one unit at a time on the field. So the yellow is where I can place units, and the red is obviously where the city that I'm trying to overcome is. The terrain does make a difference. Obviously, the forest gives you a terrain advantage, so I'll just put them all in a forest area here. And then I put the general on one of the units, and it gives them a little bit of a boost there. On top of the real-time strategy, there's also some card-based strategy involved too. So these are basically power-ups that can be given to my units. Later on, the further you get in the game, there's also even cards that affect the enemy units. So, And on the top you can see it shows you the amount who's up next for turns. So now it'll be all 4 of my units coming up next. So just see if there's any cards here worth using. So give them a little boost there. And yeah, I'm gonna go after. Oh, there's put traps in the forest, so that didn't work out great. That's alright. We'll pound on these guys for this turn. So I'm pretty far away. It's not doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so I'm just gonna get my crossbowman a little bit closer here. Again, like I said, the loading seems a little bit long, but nothing terrible. And now the computer's going through their turns. So yeah, so obviously the old guys with the sticks are no match for my knights with short swords and shields. And yeah, as the match goes on, you get more cards, so you'll be able to use different power-ups. And yeah, certain units can retaliate if you attack them, so you kind of have to use some judgment there, but they can't retaliate if there's none left, so. So this is a relatively easy battle. It's an early one, and I went in with a lot of units, so at the end, to win the battle, you basically either have to wipe the enemy's army off of the field, or you have to capture their flag there. So they're guarding the flag, so I'm gonna have to take out the last of the pikemen here on the city-state. So the other part of this is that as you take out their army, there's a morale that goes down, so it affects their efficiency. So they're obviously not going to be as strong as their army becomes decimated. Yeah, and we'll just take out a few more with the crossbowmen. Lost a few more people than I would have liked, so maybe I'll just let the crossbowmen finish off the pikemen here. Oh, now they're coming after me. See, now the good thing is because they were outside of the city, they take more damage, and I was able to finish them off. So yeah, not a very difficult battle, but obviously first one of the game, so it's gonna be a bit easier. So like I said, the loading's not always great. Here we go. So yeah, so we're back, and the town's on fire, so we gotta bring some peasants from the fields to put out the fire. And I can see my opponents are capturing their own regions, so like I said, you gotta go after them early if you don't want to be closed in from both sides. So as you can see on the bottom of the map, you can see that the regions are growing between, so my blue increased with the taking over of this village, and the opponents are increasing theirs as well. So the other thing that I learned after my first quick playthrough was that the villages that you take over, they are quick to rebel. So I'm just gonna build a small army here to leave behind, so that if the villagers don't like their new management here, that we're not going to let them take back the village. So armies have to have a minimum of 50, so we'll have to have a few of the old men with sticks here. And we don't want to lose too much ground to my opponent, so I'll just send my army off to capture the next village here. And just gonna go back and double check. So they're still working on that church. And yeah, maybe I'll switch up, get some armor here for new units. So you have to have the armor and the weapons available to build the units. So I don't have a whole lot left, so I will need some there. So the army's off to the next village. And yeah, it only took about one turn for them to be unhappy, so. So I guess maybe I'll build them something to keep them happy too. And pull one of these guys over to start to work on it. So the army can only go, there's waypoints, so you can't just go wherever you want. There's basically one stop along the way to the next village. So, and as you can see at the top of the screen, there is my inventory. Oh, who are these guys? These are new. I don't like the look of those guys. So yes, my inventory at the top. So yeah, I've got the pikes and swords. I'll be working on the crossbows for this turn, and I've got some helmets for the crossbowmen and the knights. So each turn is a season, so after 4 turns we're already back to winter. And looks like the army for this village is ready to duke it out, so we're going into another battle. So it's the same setup. We got the base that you need to protect and the base that you're trying to take over. The different spots that you can put the units on the first turn. I mean, early impressions of the game are pretty good. It feels a lot like kind of a civilization, I guess. Maybe a rudimentary civilization. Obviously, there's less details compared to those games. Those are pretty big games though, so obviously it won't be as detailed. But then they've got this real-time strategy battles mixed in, which gives it a bit of a different pace. Now, we won't have time for this particular Let's Play to get into it, but there's defenses that you can even add to the villages. So the further you get, you'll be able to add in walls that would provide additional protection for the units. And that sort of thing. Take a look at what cards I got available here. So obviously different ones work for different ways, so if I want to protect myself from a ranged unit, I could drop a card on there. But for now, I'll just keep on attacking. So I think these knights might be in some trouble. They got 90 of these bowmasters here on me, but thankfully the terrain should keep me safe for a little bit anyway. So there's again another card after you've defeated a unit. Let's see what we got here. Give them that extra retaliation. And I better start moving them. Taking out somebody here. So obviously these bowmasters are pretty weak. I know there's only 3 units left, but I feel bad if we lose these guys. I'm gonna try to help them out here, keep them alive, keep who's left anyway. So there it shows you how many people, the potential deaths. So it's basically the shot would take out 4 to 8 units. Maybe we'll boost up their damage here for the next turn. So they don't wanna send the pikemen out at all. So maybe I'll just finish off these bowmasters before turning my sights to the pikemen over at the village. So again, the speed of it is a little concerning, but early access, so maybe they'll get that figured out. Just gotta be careful. They're on a hill now, so. So I think these 2 units they've done everything that they can do. I'm just gonna send them back to protect the base camp here. So again, you can see here that it would take out between 0 and 14 of the enemy. So just put those guys there, and maybe better use these crossbowmen. So you can see that their morale has gone down since they've lost half their army now. And we're about to finish these guys off. And we can turn our sights to the pikemen. So now that he's left the village unguarded, I'll just take that. No need to attack him really at this point, since we're about to take over that village and win the battle. victorious. So, I mean, the music's nice. I always like that kind of medieval tunes. Not huge on the text. I understand why they're using it because it's got that medieval look, I suppose, but I just kind of find it hard to read. The numbers aren't so bad though, but so again, it's kind of the same situation where you only have a certain amount of peasants in the region, and you cannot move peasants from one region to the next. So I wouldn't be able to move them from, say, my village to this village here. So I have to kind of use what I've got. And again, as you can see, as I grow, my opponents grow as well. So the borders are getting close. You can see there the other kingdom, and on the left, again, the other kingdom, the rival kingdom, is also at my gates on the other side. So I think at this point, I'm a little concerned about my flank on the western front here. So I better make an army here. So as you can see, the crossbowmen, because I only have 4 of the armor that they need. I can only make 4 of them. And for the knights, I have to have the helmets and the shield, so I can make 22. Which leaves pretty much, I guess I'll go with the archers over the... And right, I need to hit 50 here. Oh, that's too much. There we go. So I'm gonna send this army over to the western front to protect myself from the encroaching rivals over here. Looks like they just took that village themselves. So we're almost done the church. Everything seems fine in this village. Oh, looks like I've used up, I cannot make any more armies. All my generals are used up at this point, so I'll have to wait. So on to spring. So the visuals are nice too. I enjoy the artwork. It's nice. The hand painted look. Oh, rebellion already. Oh, I've got multiple regions that are unhappy with me. So like I said, it doesn't take long. It's only been a couple turns and they're already rebelling. So I'm glad I've got my army still there. So what'll end up happening is that another army, just like the ones that I fought, will just spring up again. So you'll have to go through another battle like that. But maybe what I'll do, oh, this region looks unoccupied right now. Maybe I'll just send this army in while they're distracted here. I don't think there's much I can do in my region so far. And yeah, maybe we'll end this this Let's Play with battling one of my rival armies. So it's pretty much going to be the same, but I'll just finish up with one last battle here. So I mean, we really did focus a lot on the battles this game. So far, it's kind of been the highlight for me. The real-time strategy I find is it's fun to a certain extent. Like I said, it's a little on the basic side, I suppose. The battlefield's not huge, but there's some strategy involved in it, so it's enjoyable. I guess the game does a few different ways to keep the variety up, I suppose. But I'll throw my general on the knights here. And there's my cards. So if you reject, you can get a new set of cards up front. This early in the game, they're pretty much the same, so I don't think there's much of a point to reject at this point. So the army's pretty low, I guess, because they were defeated. Just took over this village, so shouldn't be too hard. And here come the pikemen. So maybe I'll take out the pikemen first here. There we go. So that just leaves us with a bunch of bowmasters. There we go, took a good chunk out of them there. Give my unit some defenses by putting them in the forest. And crap, I did not play that very well, and now he's on his way to the village. Yeah, I wasn't thinking that one through. I should have had somebody on the village there. So I better try to take this guy out very quickly. Alright, well that worked out. I guess he's not gonna just take the village and win the battle, I guess. It's fine with me. Try to take this out quickly before he changes his mind on ending this battle. He hasn't taken it yet, so I should be okay. There we go. And I took his general, so that's the end of this battle. Alrighty, well, I think this is a good place to end here. We've already been going for about 30 minutes. So, yeah, maybe next video I'll take a more detailed look at the city building mechanics and the resource management, because that's a whole nother side that we haven't really got it into. We kind of just scratched the surface, but yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and like and subscribe and all that jazz. Thanks, and we'll see you at the next Thirsty Mage.